Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. In the last episode we managed to kit out the Ember's Hearth, and at Sol's request we have to speak to the other members of the flotilla, which means we need to roll some dice. Let's go with, well, we have dust house tending. To be used on the flotilla's outward trip, the dust houses will need careful tending, especially those being adapted to greenway plants. Or we can harvest automation. Dust house efficiency could be massively improved with an automated harvest system, but the step techs need some help. Let's go with automation. Which leaves us with a 2 and a 1 that I'm going to try and re-roll. Cross your fingers. Hey, the 4 is pretty nice. I'll take the 4. What does the 3 do for me? I mean, there's a chance that the 3 is pretty good. Let's see what happens. Hey, we're halfway there, and we got 5 cryo. You manage to refactor the sensors automation so the system receives better, more accurate data. Right, let's rest. I need to repair myself, don't I? Or did I already do that? No, I think I do need to repair myself. Hopefully I don't need these scrap components for anything else. That would be unfortunate. Bloody hell, that's awful, isn't it? I mean, I guess I can use the 4s again? Oh, that time is ticking down pretty quick. It's making me feel very uncomfortable. We use the 4. We should be fine. I don't see why we wouldn't be fine. Unless something goes horribly wrong, which I guess is possible. Could I get lucky with the 3, do you think? Watch now as it gives me a 1. And... nice. You sit in one corner of the dust house and inspect your work. This dust house, the one where plants from the greenway and some of the steppe species intermingle, has become your favourite. The moss and dust sharing the space in curving terraces. The pale knots of steppe silk freckled with yellowing lichel symbiotes. It is a hypnotic arrangement. You look down and see the intertwining fungal threads and dust-caked roots, and feel a little glow of pride at what has been achieved. You hear the entry lock of the dust house hiss open, and assuming it is Aki, turn to greet her. Sleeper, I should have known you'd be here. Rico smiles her warm smile, leaning on her crutch. You must be the most green-fingered person on the station. Rico! Now, has it been so long? Smiles a wry smile. No need for any drama. I met with some of the steppe refugees in the greenway. They were gathering plants and I confronted them. Turns out they were very friendly. She smiles to herself. Aki was very apologetic, but I told them they were welcome to anything they'd like. She told me I'd be welcome to come see, and, well, I thought I'd take her up on the offer. She looks around the dust house with its strange hybrid ecosystem. I have to say, I'm glad I did. You know Aki? A little. She pauses. She's a fine botanist, and an even finer conversationalist. 2 rare qualities on the station in my experience. Rico limps over to you. She holds out a hand. How about you take me on a tour? You take Rico's hand and walk her around the hybrid dust house. You show her how the steppe silk knots help provide a strong base for fungal and lichel growths, and how the dust mixes with the spores. You show her the different species of steppe tubers and the way they feed the soil with nutrients that help herbaceous greenway plants thrive. She nods along, her eyes bright with ideas. She stops after a while and gestures for you to sit together. I know something is happening with the eye, Sleeper. He looks out at the plants. We all felt the flux event hit, and everyone is talking about what's next. I came out here to figure something out, to understand what I might do about it all. glance at her and see the glossiness in her eyes, and I think I have decided. What you have done here, what Aki and the other steppe refugees have done here, is incredible. A whole new ecosystem built from the strange, artificial, changed remains of two worlds. But I am not of two worlds. I am of the eye. A tear runs down her cheek. Like it or not, I am entwined with the station. I am old growth. I don't have that much time anymore, and it seems to accelerate with every cycle. She frowns. Blurs together, separates, overlaps, comes back to me in strange ways. The time I do have, that's time I want to spend on the eye, in the greenway, watching things grow. He wipes her cheek. One day I'll lie in those fields and not get back up. He smiles. The tear tracks down both cheeks. And when the green takes me, I'll be so glad. I'll miss you. Rico smiles. The feeling is mutual, Lipa. She wipes her eyes and turns to you. That's enough of me blubbering on about it. He furrows her brow. What I want to know is what you're planning. I don't know. Rico smiles. We all have to get to know ourselves, Sleeper. To know what it is that drives us. I'm sure you'll decide to act in the manner you know. But you also have to ask yourself, why is it so? He places a trembling hand on yours. Don't neglect that. Oh! He suddenly lifts both hands. Don't let me forget this. He reaches into her coat and pulls out a transparent bag of sporing clubheads with carefully preserved root systems. I'd like to plant these. If you go, you'll need them. He looks down at her feet, and if you don't, maybe another sleeper will benefit. He frowns. I can offer that, at least. Thank you, Rico. He nods. Don't thank me. These are yours by right. Rico stands and limps over to a pile of mulch. He delicately takes the club heads out and beds them into the soil there, with precise, expert hands. You should go, Sleeper. I'll be a while. He calls back, not looking away from the job at hand. See you around, she says it casually, but there's a note of finality to her speech. See you around, Rico. You turn and leave the dust house, cycling through the protective lock, back into the cool quiet of the ship. Aki is waiting for you. It's beautiful. She's looking through the observation window, and the green reflects in her eyes. The plants look happy together. She spots Rico with her hands in the soil. Ah, the botanist came. She shoots you a look. A friend of yours? Yeah, more than that. She nods. She speaks beautifully about the greenway. I should go in and welcome her. He pauses. Are you leaving us? For now. Aki sighs. The first of many goodbyes. She suddenly embraces you, wrapping you in her layers of rough cloth. He pulls back. I wish you a steady step and a clear path. She smiles. A farewell from my world. Godspeed. A farewell from mine. She smiles. I like how that sounds. Godspeed to you. She nods and smiles one last, warm smile, before turning and entering the dust house. You watch as she walks inside, Rico turning with a smile to greet her. He kneels beside the old botanist, and you see her pointing to the clubheads, asking questions. You are unable to hear them, but despite that, you can easily imagine the measured, even tone, laced with excitement that Rico is using to explain the clubheads, the greenway, and much, much more. You turn, leaving them to their conversation. Your step is light, despite the burdens you carry, and the smile Rico and Aki were sharing is somehow still on your lips as you depart. Okay, that leaves me with 2 normal dice here, 2 snake eyes, lovely. Can I re-roll those? Oh god, really? Okay, snake eyes again, huh? You could have at least given me one other one that wasn't a 1, that would have been nice. Let's, hack, I guess? I mean, I don't know, I don't really need the money, but... What else am I going to use 1s for? Yatagan agent. Then Yatagan data. Heaven Edge guy down here. Yep, Heaven Edge data. The scrap merchant back? I should probably buy some more scrap, shouldn't I? Back yet, or are they still on cooldown? I think, oh, they're still on cooldown? They're still on cooldown. Okay, that's nothing to worry about. I could have used them to try and get the mushrooms out of the aviary, but I'd probably just crush them and it would be upsetting. Let's eat at the Bantayan. We'll go with 2 grills. And we'll rest. May as well be at the repaired unit. Do we get to take the cat with us if we leave? You know, I feel like I've fed a lot of food to this cat. We're halfway there. It's going to be fun. Oh, I forgot to repair myself, didn't I? Good lord. I'll admit, not my finest moment. Right. Speaking of the scrap freighter, I'd like to buy some. Yep, scrap. Scrap. Damn it. I got myself a ship mine fragment. That's slightly less useful, but oh well. Who knows, maybe we're gonna need this for something. Something's gonna come up and be like, we need a ship mine. I'm like, yaha, I've been carrying this for at least 5 episodes. Bet you didn't see that coming. Alright, let's see if we can help the people of the song here. Even though I don't really trust them, now I know they're leaving. So we can either do crew management. The crews of Ember's song are effective but headstrong and stubborn. They need direction and management. Or we can do axis reclamation. As the docking access is dismantled and the individual ships refitted, as much of the material as possible needs to be reclaimed. Let's go with reclaiming, because that's the one we have the +2 to. Do I re-roll the 2 and the 3? Let's see. Oh, nice. We got a 5 and a 4. Puts us over 50%. That's really good. We are going to have to rest straight away, though. Rest in the base camp here. We've already repaired ourselves. Let's not forget to do that again, so end the cycle. We're going to be starving, I think, next day. We are indeed. We're over 50% on the clock. Little bit scary. But we should... I'm going to use the 4s, actually. Just in case we need those 5s for another check. There we go. Oh, we got some random scrap iron. Scrap as well. Awesome. The docking access is little more than a shell. Everything that could have been pulled from its interior, every arm not used for docking, has been cut away. What remains is a Spartan void with a patchwork of flooring that allows movement. Piles of usable material are tucked away in corners, but almost everything else has been cleared out. You haven't seen Peter since you last spoke, and now you are realizing that you probably never will. There are plans to be made, escapes to plot, the shadow of Hearth to escape. On the cycle the flotilla leaves, these ships will disperse too, the moons of Ember spinning out on different orbits. The chaos has become a quiet diligence now, as the time for departure is so near. Crews cross the axis from ship to ship at speed, bringing supplies or advice, perhaps meeting up to discuss travel vectors in hushed tones, or to debate why they haven't left yet, and whether they should. Among these Singer crews, recognizable for their specialist clothing and often shorn heads, you see the occasional refugee, a paying passenger, or a replacement engineer or pilot, perhaps, come from the Eye to seek fortune with the Singers. Most of the crews have 2 or 3 of these additions, some more, but you can't help but wish that whatever reason brings them to throw their lot in with the Singer crews, they will have safe passage. You feel a strange attachment to these citizens of the Eye, setting out for the first time. And then, one of them catches your eye, crossing the axis with a crew, carrying a large bag and a nervous look. Tala? You freeze for a second. What is she doing here? Glances around, feeling your eyes on her, and catches your eye. Her face brightens immediately. Sleeper! Tala mutters something to her crew and rushes over, dumping the large bag at your feet and embracing you without thinking. What are you doing here? She sheepishly glances at her bag. The sleeper. She pauses. He pauses again, holding her arms defensively. I'm going to the starboard belt. He waits for your response nervously. Why didn't you say? She sighs. Do you remember me mentioning my family, Sleeper? My brother? You think back to your Girol blurred conversations in the back of the Bantayan. He came here with me, with my family, when we were little, just after we left Cinza. He bites her lip. He left when we were both teenagers, jumped on some spacer crew heading to the starboard belt. He sighs. I'm an idiot. She shakes her head. And I'm going after him. He looks down, not sure what to add. Alone? He looks at you. I guess so. I really don't know if it makes sense or if it's the right thing, but ever since I heard it was where the refugee flotilla was going, well, I couldn't stop thinking about it. What happens to the bar? Someone will have to run it. He leaves a long pause. I mean, I can ask Francis, but he'd be happy to. Or one of the others, he blurts out. And of course, if you're leaving with the flotilla or something else, it'd be totally okay. You wouldn't need to say yes, it's no pressure. It's fine, whichever way. I was just thinking... I mean, I could run the bar. Tala nods, smiling. I think so. I mean, you can take a second. But, he glances at the crew she was walking with, who are chatting a little way away. There's not exactly much time. So, considering that, he grabs the key hanging around her neck. The key to the Bantayan. Do you want to do it? Sure. Tala leaps forward and embraces you again. Thank you, Sleeper. I couldn't be leaving it in better hands. Guess that means I'm staying. She pulls the key from around her neck and places it around yours as if presenting a medal. Remember to lock up, especially the back. Remember to empty the still. You're leaving those things closed for a few cycles. And... She stops herself. I won't be gone forever, of course. Blinks away a tear. I can come back and check in, maybe once I find my brother. He pauses, unable to finish the thought. She smiles at you, and you can see the weight lifting off her shoulders, her eyes already drifting towards the crew, the ship, the next big thing. She's ready. I better be going. She nods at the crew nearby. Not a good start to keep my guys waiting. She lifts the bag onto her shoulder. Looks down the curve of the eye towards the overlook. Thanks again, Sleeper, for everything you helped me with. She nods. I wouldn't have been able to leave if I hadn't made things work here. She adjusts the bag. Dad wouldn't have let me. Be around, Tyler. He nods. Hope so. Then Tyler turns, heading back to the crew who will carry her to the starward belt. You watch her go, and despite the departure, hard to feel sad about Tyler. You know her energy will carry her forward, and you hope her brother is somewhere on that bright path. You hold the key in your hand, the metal still a little warm from Tyler's body. You turn it over in your fingers, thinking about how it feels, like a tool and a burden. And still lock up and leave, you figure. And now, that will feel like breaking something fragile. If you stay, well, who knows what this little metal promise might grow into. There we go. We got an upgrade point. That means we have 2 upgrade points, right? Yep. So we can almost get one of the other points here. I don't know what's next. Hang on. I've helped everyone. What am I supposed to do? Okay, this is the point where I'd normally end the episode, so I guess I'll end the episode. But I'm thinking maybe it's just rest and something happens. But I guess we'll find out in the next episode. So thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel and the coffee support. It really does mean the world to me. And as always, see you next time.